These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back. Another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Saturday, December 30th. And we are here after the Celtics win over the Raptors. Sorry, they had a back-to-back, almost said Pistons. Picked up 2 wins at the Garden, back-to-back over the Pistons and the Raptors. We've talked about both of those games individually. Make sure to go check those out. Also, Sam, I did end up looking. You were right. I uploaded Talking C's. However, it went up as unlisted for some reason, but it did go up eventually. So I don't know what happened, but it is out now.
This morning.
Go check out the latest Talking C's as well, because something got glitched.
I imagined
in a rush.
Like when I woke up today and I saw it, I was like, I imagine Jack discovered it had not been uploaded and went into a state.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't panic. It was just confusion. Because, there's no schedule for that to go up. But
right.
Check out Talking C's with Bobby Kravitsky as well. That said, without further ado, to kick off the show, let's give away some popcorn. The last popcorn giveaway of this year. It is the end of the year.
Pull it up.
End of 2023. It is time for 2024, but we're still giving out popcorn like it's I was gonna make some sort of joke like it's 1999 or like some millennial joke, but
shut up.
I'm just gonna shut up.
Embarrassing.
He was wanted some popcorn today.
Who's gonna win? 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 It is
about time.
One of the OGs in the comments section. Sublimina Keys 1674. Congratulations. You will win a $10 gift card to Inpopnito. Email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com with your contact information. Was it name, email address, which we'll have, and phone number.
Bingo.
And we'll get you set up to get $10. You can buy a bag, pick from, I guess, over 100 flavors. My dad informed me I was mistaken. So you can get sweet, savory, spicy, seasonal. They got it all, over 100 flavors. Check it out. Even if you didn't win, great treats to have.
A lot of different flavors. My personal favorite is the cheddar infused or cheddar disguised caramel, I should say. Big fan of that. But congrats to Sublimina Keys. And we're going to get into our first, we'll call it an activity of the podcast. The end of year HBTC Awards. Maybe we do this every year. I'll make a background next year, but we thought of this like 10 minutes before we started recording and threw it together. But it is the end of 2023. This time last year, I think we had 120 subscribers. Something like
big year.
Yeah, big year. I just remember last October we were celebrating hitting 100 subscribers when I was in Ireland, and then the summer we were celebrating hitting 1,000, and now we're almost close to celebrating hitting 2,000. And a lot of you guys have joined along the way, and we appreciate you very much. But we're going to be doing end of year awards. So the first award we're going to be doing is Player of the Year. Now, Sam and I came up with 4 nominees for each of these awards. However, we have not come up with the winners yet, so that's going to be the point of the discussion. The nominees that we put together here, I think I came up with these before Sam got on the sheet show. If you disagree with one of these nominees, you can. Player of the Year, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, or Al Horford. Now, you could have gone with Porzingis or Drew over Horford, but Horford was here for the end of last season as well, so I figured those 4 would probably make the most sense for this award. I think the answer is pretty clear, in my opinion, because I'm not going to get recency bias, get a hold of me. But I'm curious to know what your vote is for Player of the Year for the Celtics is.
Well,
this is
probably
calendar
has
year,
to
by
be
the way.
Tatum.
Yeah.
Even though you could be like, dropped his shoes last, I don't know, February-ish. He had that super cool Kobe trophy, sucked up until the playoffs. And then to begin this season, he's mostly not been good. So you could say 2023, not a great Tatum year. If you really want to have a big discussion on this, you could be like Derek White, big year for Derek White, stepped up big. He's really found his footing with the Celtics, but I think it's Tatum. Best guy
it's got to be Tatum. It has.
He's
to
just
be
held to a really high standard, which is why he's in the crosshairs quite a bit for me.
Yeah, and for all of the shooting struggles Tatum has, it is important to note that he is also seeing the most pressure by far in a team that has a lot of guys that could be having pressure thrown at them. So Jason Tatum's going to be the winner. If you threw out favorite player of the year for the Celtics fan base, I think D. White might have a pretty fair shot at winning that one. But for player of the year, we're going to go with Jason Tatum. We might end up throwing these in polls on the channel to see who y'all think would win. Maybe they'll go up in the YouTube community tab. So check that out after. We'll see if I end up uploading it. But next category is best game of the year. This is calendar year 2023. Nominee number 1 is Game 7 versus the 76ers. Nominee number 2 is Game 6 versus the Heat. Obviously, the D-White game winner capping it off. Number 3 is Tatum game winner versus Philly in the regular season last year. And number 4 is the Pistons lose 28 games straight. Very recent one. My answer, I have mine. I think it's Game 7 in Philly. Curious to know what you think.
You're against Philly.
Game 7 versus Philly. Like playoffs, Game 7.
Yeah, you said at Philly.
I said against Philly.
You sure didn't.
I meant against Philly. Game 7 versus Philly.
Well, a lot of great games to pick from. Game 7, massive win, absolute whomping. It's exactly what you want to see out of a Game 7. As a fan, stress-free, a celebration that the series is over. You had Game 6 versus Miami, which kind of sucked at the end until Derek White put the ball in the basket, but it was a colossal meltdown from the Celtics. They're up 10 with 4 minutes to go, and then they should have lost, but they didn't. You had the regular season game in Philadelphia where Tatum hit the game winner off the classic Tatum starts in the backcourt, catches the ball, and gets to make a decision play. And then, of course, the Pistons losing 28 straight at the Garden was a monumental comeback for the Celtics, and it was a juiced game. Like, felt like it was a big-time playoff game, despite it was the best team versus the worst team in the league. And I don't know. That game had some good juice. I thought it provided some good moments. Like, you had some good Derek White moments, good Kristaps Porzingis closer. I will vote for that one just because I think we're putting all our favorite ones first on these polls. So, like, if we keep doing the reading, it's like, oh yeah, the first one won again because we brainstormed these nominees.
That's true. So you're going with the Pistons game as the best game of the calendar year. Wow, it was
an incredible.
It
game.
was a great game.
Like objectively from a basketball standpoint, in terms of entertainment value, yeah, probably. Like,
okay,
it had the juice going into it in December, late December, a regular season game. Where people are like, oh shit, Pistons are in town. Got to give it to the Pistons. They played their asses off. They did their part, but the Celtics came out on top. Can't complain too much.
Yeah, I think Game 6 versus Philly, which we didn't even nominate, should have had a pretty good shot too, in hindsight. Tough game all around. Then Tatum came in clutch at the end and tore the hearts out. Yeah, okay. Split decision there. I went Game 7 against the Sixers.
You can go for it.
No, I'll bold them both. We'll say we had a disagreement. All right, next category. Funniest moment of the year. Number 1, I'm going to make both Grant Williams. Number 2, LeBron's tantrum / Pat Bev's camera. Number 3, Thanasis headbutts Blake Griffin. And number 4, Andre Drummond's free throw game. I think I know your answer. I don't think we're going to have the same one. So I'll let you start here, though.
This is a really hard one. I'm going to rank them.
Okay, sure.
Because I think they are all great in their own respect.
This is my favorite category.
Out of all of them, I think that the LeBron tantrum was the least funny.
Okay.
It has the nicest longevity because I
That's
can
kind of
be
why
like,
I
look how
added
much of an asshole he was.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to add Pat Bev camera in there too to get the whole moment because that was funny. That was objectively hilarious.
After that, I think that I'm gonna make both is third, even though I love that moment.
I'm surprised. Okay.
Because it was maybe the funniest game I've ever seen.
Yes.
Because we were in the thing watching it and you were flipping out because you didn't believe in him. And I was like, no, he's going to make one. He shoots like 95% or whatever he was shooting. And he missed both. Then we find out he was talking smack and then they lose the game. And then the Thanasis headbutt is my second ranked choice because I forgot about that one. But at the time, it was hilarious.
It was great.
And Blake Griffin took Jaylen Brown's mask and was like, yo, I might need this for protection.
Yeah.
And then you have the Celtics fouling up 30 in the in-season tournament. That was electric.
That was also my winner. I thought you were going to pick Grant. The Andre Drummond free throw game was the funniest moment of the year. Yeah, in my opinion,
I
by
think
far.
it was too.
It
Because
was
you had
phenomenal.
people getting mad about it online.
Yeah.
And the players themselves were mad about it. They were like, integrity for the game, which is the dumbest thing ever.
I mean, that YouTube short we made of it was perhaps the funniest thing. It was just sending that man Andre Drummond to the free throw line. Like up 30, just sent him back. He apologized to him after the game. Everything about that was perfect. It was great. That was the funniest moment of the year for the Celtics, for sure. All right. Next category is best pod moments. We have some HBTC categories here. Some of these are from the videos on the channel. Some are from full-length pods on the channel. Just another, nudge, go watch all the videos on the channel. We drop a video 5 a.m. every day. We never say that. We just kind of assume people know. We drop videos every day if you just listen to the podcast for some reason. So make sure to watch those too.
I say it every pod.
At the end, yeah, I know. I never say it, I guess. I kind of, rolls off. It doesn't connect that some people might just listen. Nominee number 1 for best pod moment, the Jakob Poeltl game, when Sam and I broke down the film and just started laughing at Jakob Poeltl for 20 minutes. Number 2 is Oleg Balcherowski, in parentheses, just the entire Summer League series. I know a lot of people enjoyed it, so it's a big moment. Number 3 was Jason Tatum makes us buy shoes, which is, we said if Tatum drops 40 in this game, we'll buy his shoes, and then he dropped 51, and we bought his shoes, and we did. I also got Tatum's for Christmas, by the way.
Continue to buy his shoes. Which ones did you get?
They're like the all white ones with the neon like trim. I'll bring them up later. They're very good.
Are these ones?
Big fan. Yes, very cool. I think, yeah, very cool. Great Datums. No, I don't think so. I think they have like the Vice color, like trim or something, like the neon. I'll need to find them. I'll bring them up later on the pod. 3 or last one is the March Madness brackets. When we had brackets, we did cereal, we did Sam haircuts, we did a bunch of random stuff. So that was the 4th.
Sam bracket was electric.
Mm-hmm.
If we did that now, it would be excellent. We
should.
We jumped.
We'll bring it back in March.
Early.
We'll bring it back in March. We're not going anywhere. We're going to shut down by February. Is that the plan? All right. So what are you thinking? You went first and last one. I'm going to go the best pod moment. I think of the March brackets. The March brackets were super fun. I think a lot of people enjoyed them. We got a lot of comments about them. I was considering the Tatum buy shoes, and I mean the Jakob Poeltl thing was hilarious, and the Summer League series was super fun too with the highlights. But the March brackets, I think even though we didn't have as many people watching, it was just a really fun thing to do because it caused a lot of disagreements. I thought it was entertaining.
When we did the March stuff, we literally would go like a half hour just doing a bracket.
It was great.
Nonsense. So those of you that like the rat list and stuff, get ready for March because we'll do that again.
It'll be great.
But my favorite moment from the pod was the Jakob Poeltl game. I think that was maybe the funniest piece of content we both did like this year. Like I think we both had moments where we had like good rat list stories or whatever. But I think as a whole, that video was not intended to be that, and it wound up just being utterly ridiculous. In a way, we were breaking down film and we were like, wait a minute, this guy's getting murdered every single time. so that'll be my vote.
Oh man, Ben, I already found it because I knew exactly which video it was. I wonder if we can find a clip of us roasting Jakob Poeltl.
I have it on Twitter. Hold on.
Oh wait, I think I already have it. I just looked for me dying laughing.
If they're like holding their film session. Look at me. I think this will dig deeper and get them to remember how to play defense more than the coach actually.
Poeltl's not even on the floor. That's how you know it turned into a mess. This is just us laughing at the Raptors.
Well, they literally, I remember this moment because I said it looks like they're trying to run an offside trap in soccer because Porzingis is right on the back shoulder of Anunoby and he's about to get a wide open jam.
So bad. Poeltl was so rough in this game, and he just had no idea what to do. Wait, here's Poeltl. Here's the man. He's gone. I think we watch this one. Okay, off the ball 2-man action between Jaylen and KP here. Look, sets a fake screen. Now you have one person driving to the rim, and you have to worry about that. And Jakob Poeltl once again comes in too deep, tries to overcorrect, and see ya.
Big dump.
Poeltl had no chance. That was tough here. Good choice. Good choice. All right, so I went March brackets. You went Poeltl. The March brackets are going to be a lot more fun this year, I think, too, which is great. I'm very excited to bring those back now that I forgot they happened.
Give us some March bracket ideas in the comments. Mm-hmm. We'll maybe write them down or something.
We might have to do a Sam and a Jack bracket this year for the people.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action, NFL. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including you got spreads, you got your player props, you got over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL.
All right. Worst pod moment. Going from the best to the worst. Worst pod moment nominees. Number 1, post Marcus Smart trade pod. I'm going to make it pods because we had to do the Malcolm Brogdon one, retract the Brogdon one, and then put up the Smart one. Both are still up on the channel. So if you want to see the true dichotomy of man, you can go watch them both.
You're like, yes, let's go. And then I literally rolled out of bed at midnight and sat in this chair miserable for 20 minutes.
It was something special. Nominee number 2 was pod breakdown after game 5 versus Philly. We need the context in this because this never saw the light of day. So after the Celtics lost game 5 against the 76ers, I was at the Garden and we were both very upset, obviously. And there was it's so packed in playoff time in the Garden that there was no good place for me to record. So I was just in the media place, like trying to be quiet, but Sam kept yelling. And so I couldn't talk because no one would hear me because Sam was yelling. And when I talk and Sam's also talking, I have trouble hearing Sam. And so it was just a mess. And I just go, Sam, if you won't let me talk, I'm going to leave. Then he just starts yelling again. And I just left the room. And I left for like 10 minutes.
Then talk.
It was so bad. I don't even know.
It was a big pissing contest of like who was going to communicate first.
It was bad. And then we came back
silent.
and we finished. If you look through the video after game 5 against the Sixers, you can find like a cut and you'll understand what happened. But that was one. Number 3 is post game 7 Heat pod. And number 4 is the Rain and Jay's Jeopardy disaster, where every question was too hard and they got everything wrong.
Yeah, I put the Jeopardy board together and I was like, well, John Krauss wrote a book on Celtics history, so I don't want him to just be able to easily dominate. So I'm gonna make this really hard. And like one of my questions was like, which Celtic point guard had a double-double against the Orlando Magic in the playoffs in 1995?
I'm gonna go. I think the post game 5 Philly where we left the call was the worst moment, though. That was so bad.
It's hilarious, but at the time we were just heated, like not mad at each other per se. We were so mad at the team that it boiled over, and it ruined the recording for at least a little bit.
It was bad. I didn't know if we were gonna have a pod that morning, but next one we have funniest Sam hate take. Nominees. Number 1, all things Scal. Just the 2-for-1s, the player is hurt, anything like that. Number 2, Tatum's poor shot selection, little recency bias, however it tracks. Number 3 is just threes, all the threes. It's been a lot better this year, but the end of last year, all the threes was very contentious point. And number 4 is the trifecta, I dubbed it. Levine, Randall, Zion. Just those 3 players because they get the heat. I mean, obviously the GOAT Sam hate take is LeBron, but it didn't feel as strong this year. So same thing with Dame, but Dame is in another category you will soon hear. So I'll go first since this is your category. So I'll let you have the final say. I'm going to say the Office 3s meme is the best, the funniest Sam hate take. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I like the Office meme, and that was such a constant. They just keep fucking shooting. Stop fucking shooting threes.
Yeah, well, I have the threes bag up there.
The bag is probably the funniest. We should have put that under funniest pod moment.
Pull up the short.
The bag. Right,
pull it up. That can go with the threes.
Yeah.
I'll back you on that.
Three's your answer? Okay.
Just because of the bag. I think the bag might have been my best thing that I did all year.
The bag was great. Bad might have been one of the best pod moments. We should have included it, to be honest. Here it is. Just lost game 5 to the 76ers. Just go ahead, Sam. Take it over.
Yeah, I have bag over my head. You know why? Because I'm ashamed to support this team.
Very good. Very good. I love it. All right. Second to last category here. Rat of the year. I'm going to bring Matt up a little early just for this category. Rat of the year. 4 nominees. Damian Lillard, number 1. Thanasis Antetokounmpo, number 2. Caleb Martin, number 3. And Sam's Internet, number 4. Now, I think this is a 2-man race, in my opinion. I think it's a Dame versus Sam's Internet runaway. I'll let you give your answer first, though.
Well, I think the internet is like the juggernaut,
Yeah.
number 1 rank.
It's Goliath.
But I do think Thanasis deserves a shout because every time I see him, I get angry. If you watch any Bucks game, he doesn't play, but you do see him. He's out there trying to make his presence known. He's walking up and also Nick Nurse deserves a shout, but I guess maybe not. This was not the year of Nick Nurse, but much like Nick Nurse, Thanasis up and down the bench for no reason. For no reason at all, moving around. Thanasis, the poster boy for nepotism. But I will say the internet's awful. Has caused many of issues throughout the course of the year. So yeah, I think that's the winner.
Definitely. All right. Final category is commenter of the year. Now, I want to make this clear that everybody who comments, we very much appreciate. We read, I know I still do. I read every single comment. I wake up every morning. I read the comments. It's still insane to me that this many people not only listen to what we have to say, but care enough to respond. And I think that's dope. So we appreciate y'all very much. We couldn't stick to just 4 on this. And so we have, I think, 7 different nominees for this award because they kept coming to mind. Number 1 is RJ, obviously, the email king. Always been there since Summer League. Number 2 is Joey Spatulas, legend of the chat.
OG fan.
Yes. Number 3, Michael Hilly, legend of the channel. Legend. He follows us on Twitter as well. Same thing with John Smyers, another nominee.
John and OG as well.
OG. As is birthday boy Philip Hart, another
Happy
nominee.
Birthday, Philip.
Yes, thank you. Happy birthday. Jared, another nominee. OG.
The
last
pre-game
playoffs.
goat.
And last one, speaking of OGs, the OG of OG, Landon, is also a nominee.
From the beginning.
Yeah. Now, this is like, I don't know what to pick for this one. This is tough because I think all of them deserve. I mean, the fact that they're there shows it. And if we forgot anybody, we shout out Sean, shout out ILL. They deserve to shout as well.
I had their beef as a nominee, but then we were like, we have too many. And then we added more.
Yeah.
So they honorable mention Sean versus ILL.
Honorable mention Pete Viskins. I think that's what it is. Everybody. Justin Mills. Shout out everybody who comments.
Josh.
We appreciate you. Josh. Yes, absolutely.
We have commenters that are the I'll be there no matter what meme. Just every video. So thank you very much. We got World Be Free, Ramses. Forgive me if I'm missing anybody, but we have a
Dana
lot of
White, UFC
Dana White.
Dana White.
Yep, UFC Dana White.
Ramsey's the god. Justin Mills, I already said. Sublimina Keys, who won What's Poppin' this year. I know Dave is a guy who just found us, but he's been there in the comments every time.
It's good that we can give them something. The popcorn giveaways. We can give you something for coming out every time. So we appreciate all of you.
OG Phil, cool, genuine Phil, the beast, the pregame legend, Birkin. I haven't seen Birkin in a million years. My dad, Uncle Dan, obviously the goats. Joe, my cousin, everybody comes in. Mrs. LaFrance is on the Facebook. Henry, but this is tough. I think I have to go RJ for commenter of the year. Though.
RJ
I
is
think
one
that
of
has
the
to
most
be
devoted commenters I've ever seen.
Yeah,
RJ is essentially a part of the show. He has great insight. He cares. He is very thoughtful in his emails. He does a great job. He does the alliteration, so Jack sounds like a moron trying to read it. Just all things RJ are great. He puts in the work, so I think RJ is going to get the appreciation. But we appreciate everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate all y'all. Like I said, it's always crazy to me that this many people listen, but I think that wraps up the 2023 End-of-Year Awards, HBTC Awards. All right, that's the end of the pod. Thank y'all. No, I'm just kidding. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, we'll move on. Next Celtics thing we have is Udonis Haslem and Bam Adebayo have walked back their Bill Russell hatred a little bit. I don't know exactly where they said this. But was Bam. He said, "We all respect Bill Russell." I think this was a pregame in like a scrum. Said, "We all respect Bill Russell for what he's done for us as players and as black people and all the stuff he had to go through." Just to be clear, that air before people start talking about that, we all know we respect that man. And then Haslem said, "Listen, man, I got to apologize. It wasn't about Bill. It's just about the rivalry and how I feel about the Celtics. But I won't take back my statement. You'll never see a jersey of a Heat player hang in those fucking rafters." And I think we were pretty clear in our standpoint that it wasn't that he hated the Celtics. Like I wouldn't want a Heat jersey in the Celtics rafters either. So I understand the frustration of not wanting that jersey in the rafters, and I understand why Shaq said it too. Like not that it's Bill Russell, but like seeing a Celtics jersey up there probably gets you annoyed. But just like that's not the person to pick the bone with is the problem.
Bill Russell never played against your team.
Oh.
he had nothing. He had no heads up for or no heads up, no headspace for the Miami Heat. Miami Heat did not exist until Bill Russell was coaching the Sacramento Kings. Bill Russell has Heat fans should have no beef with Bill Russell. None.
I don't think, and I think that's what Haslem was saying. He's like, I didn't mean to make it about Bill. It was about the Celtics, but you did make it about Bill though when you said fuck Bill Russell. Yeah, like that's so. I appreciate the apology.
That would be like me being like fuck Jack, but it has nothing to do with Jack.
Yeah, it's actually about Duke. Jack was
I fucking hate Duke and dogs in general. So fuck Jack.
But they both apologized. It is what it is.
Of course they did. Haslem's like, thank you for giving my podcast that I really don't need to have attention. Our plan worked. And tune in next episode because we're going to slander another NBA great. Who's it going to be? We're going to spin a wheel and find a way.
Well, Shaq said he didn't want Michael Jordan in the rafters in Miami either, which that one makes a bit more
fair.
Sense. That is weird. Well, Shaq said no Bill Russell and Michael Jordan. He lumped them in together.
But like Haslem didn't even talk about Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yes. All right, next thing we got Jaylen Brown talking about Luke Kornet. This was after Kornet's big game against the Pistons. We talked about the game on the the post-game pod that dropped at 5 a.m. yesterday morning as you're listening to this. But Jaylen said, Luke's the ultimate teammate. Great locker room guy, gets along with everybody. He's funny, so he kind of uplifts everybody, even in moments where he might not want to laugh. Then on the court, he's just all reliable. He had a great game today, but Luke is the ultimate teammate. I just thought it was a fun quote, and I wrote about Luke today. And Luke had some like really cool perspective about being a role player and maybe not knowing when your minutes are coming up, and just sort of his pathway to this point. He said that I feel like I thought I was there earlier in my career talking about like focusing on himself, but I feel like there was quite a bit of suffering in my career and it opened it up where you just realize you're playing for yourself. Then when it wasn't going well, it was always still kind of about yourself. And he said, just doing anything for yourself is not a very high or fulfilling goal. Talked a lot about wanting to be, more for the team, talked about how his life as a husband and father, all this stuff, made him realize that doing things for other people is better. Then talked about how his time in Maine, made it a focus of we're here as a team. Let's just figure it out and do it together and be better together. And then it was just a very well thought out answer. You can read the whole quote because I'm butchering it in my Celtics blog article, shameless plug. But hearing that and then hearing Jaylen talk about how Luke is such a good teammate made me question why people hate him so much. Because one of the only comments on that Celtics blog article I wrote about him is, "Oh, corrected for he's the fourth string center." Actually, I'm like, you're really missing the point here, brother. What are we doing?
It is true. Like people put a lot of energy into like the backup big guys. Like I have friends that like really, really stand by that they think Tice sucked. It's like
I have friends that only text me about Luke Kornet. Our group chat was the Luke Kornet, basketball hate club or something for a while. I was like, what are we doing, guys? Come on.
Like if you're gonna get mad at the guy firing up a million threes. Get mad at him. Don't get mad at Luke Kornet. He's out there trying his best, no matter what. And I think he's been pretty solid. Like, I think we've both been pretty consistent on that. Like, there's not a whole lot we all need out of Luke Kornet watching this team. He needs to go out there and have us not realize he's out there. And if we all realize he's out there for a positive reason, then it's just gravy. But if he's out there and holding his own and he's not being a detriment to the team, then he's absolutely doing his job as a backup rotation big guy. Same with Daniel Tice when Tice was here. Now Tice is gone and he's affectionately looked back on. But again, I have people that were like, thank God Tice isn't on the team anymore. He sucked. It's like, well, maybe you think he sucked, but he was pretty solid for what they asked him to do. Luke Kornet is very solid for what they asked him to do. Neemias Queta, solid for what they asked him to do.
Yep.
That's what their job is, to go out there, give Porzingis, Al Horford a rest, and then come back to the bench. And don't get murdered. That's it.
It's not a very high bar. Focusing the energy on that doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, it's fun to hear what Jaylen had to say about him. Next Celtics thing we have, excuse me, is Rondo talking about the Dwyane Wade incident. Now, if you're not familiar, I'll pull up the clip. Let me see. It's probably easily findable on Twitter, Sam. While I find this, do you want explaining the background of the incident?
So way back when, in the 2011 playoffs, when Shaq was on the Celtics, even though he was actually, I think he did play in this particular game. The Celtics were down 2-0 to Miami. In game 3, Dwyane Wade grabbed Rondo as Wade was falling to the floor and pulled him down along with himself. And Rondo broke his elbow, dislocated his elbow, hyperextended his elbow, something crazy. The clip is not pleasant to watch. Rondo stayed in the game, but there has been rampant speculation for years that this was a dirty play. Here you go. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
If you
no
don't
sound
like seeing
on, but...
things, then don't look at this. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty. His arm bends in a way it's not necessarily supposed to bend. Rondo stayed in this game and also played the next game because he's a dog. But I know Bill Simmons was a big D-Wade did this on purpose. He's a dirty player guy.
Yeah.
And Rondo seems to feel that same way. He says that particular play, like I said, it was kind of a freak accident. We were teammates after that, so it's no bad blood. But I think he broke it on purpose or tried. He's a competitor. Rondo went on to clarify that he respects Wade as a competitor, so he doesn't necessarily think it was a dirty play, which is really kind of weird. I don't think it was targeting me in the locker room or talks to take me out or anything like that. He was trying to make a play on the ball and ended up making a play on my elbow. He contradicts himself.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like he doesn't blame Dwyane Wade because they're friends, which is, you understand, right? You can't hold a grudge forever. At least I can.
Watch me.
But most people who can't hold a grudge forever, they've been teammates past that, I think, multiple times, right? Were they teammates on the Cavs too, briefly?
No, weren't teammates on the Cavs, but they did play together.
We're teammates in Chicago.
Yes.
But it sounds like he wants to make it clear, I have nothing against Dwyane Wade anymore, but I do think he did that at the time, which it does kind of look like he did mean to fuck him up at the time.
Might have meant to injure him.
I don't think he meant to injure him that severely. I think he meant to pull him down with him at the very least. I don't know. It's weird. They didn't like each other very much, those two teams at the time.
Yeah, as we've heard a lot about this last couple weeks.
Clearly. All right. Let's go to the email. Let's see what the people have to say. We have a lot of emails from a lot of different people. So let's check in, see what the people have to say. 7 emails since last pod. 7 emails in 3 days. But as always, let's start with the GOAT. From RJ, what's poppin'? A moment of gratitude. Morning, Jack. Morning, Sam. I'm going to veer off course. A little bit and thank the two of you for all the hard work. Oh, shit. I wouldn't have read this on the pod if I knew this was. Putting out an excellent podcast. Sam's comment about how the guys doing the OG pod could have just left out Haslem's Bill Russell story reminded me that what gets in front of our eyes and ears is an editorial choice. You guys make good choices from how you handle gases trade rumors to trying out new things with pod. Staying locked into what you enjoy doing, it all adds up to the show I look forward to every day, even if actual Celtics news is thin on any given day. Be well, RJ. So this is why you're the commenter of the year, RJ. This is why you're the commenter of the year.
We didn't even know about this. Well, I had read this before, but Jack didn't even know about this when he
I didn't know.
Made his call.
I did not know. But thank you, RJ. We appreciate you. Excuse me very much, even though I do still have stuff in my throat, so I keep pausing. Next one from Sean. An Inpopnito winner, Sean, don't worry. I'm going to mark down the timestamp right now because your information is, in fact, in this email, so I'm not going to show it on the screen. Get out Sean's info. I just got to mark that down so I can edit it out. But Sean says, hey, Jack and Sam, so excited to finally try Inpopnito. I'm torn between spicy and savory, so please let me know what your faves are. Gives his info. I've been watching / listening to you guys since before the name change. It's honestly so nice to see how popular the pod has gotten the past year. I can't watch the live streams as often anymore, but HBTC is my first listen every morning. Huge thank you for getting me and the rest of your loyal listeners through a boring summer with so much fun content. Also, did you know that HBTC is on Audible? Going to start listening there so I can rate it 5 stars. I did not. I did not know HBT was on Audible. That's cool. Embarrassing story you may or may not find funny. Love it. The day the C's played Game 7 versus Miami during the 22 Eastern Conference Finals, I was so anxious the entire day that I only had a bagel and coffee and didn't drink any water. The next morning, I woke up excited to buy the New York Times. I live in NYC, and frames the C's article. I stopped by a cafe to get a coffee and fucking fainted. They called the ambulance and the fire department. First thing I said after they asked me if I had a long night was the Celtics are going to the finals. Hey, yo, I fainted because I was dehydrated and didn't eat much the day before. I also had an arrhythmia, my fault, but I blame the team. Rat list 1, people who take up subway seats with their bags. Put your bags or lap on the floor. I only do that if it's empty. To the NBA app. I watch most games on League Pass and it lags so much that I realize I'm about 5 minutes behind every game. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for reading and shout out to RJ for the fun trivia. Fingers crossed you beat the Pistons tonight, or I might actually faint again.
Didn't have to faint.
I bet you got real close though.
He might have fainted in the first half. Like at halftime, he took a little bit of a snooze and he was a little bit re-energized for the second half. The 21-point comeback was the defibrillator on Sean as he passed out. But couple things. Take up subway seats with your bags. Very rough scene, especially the subway. It's kind of like understood you have to like be around other people. It's an acceptable environment for that. 2, the NBA app. I was watching the last couple of Celtics game on League Pass because I was away. Audio, I had to keep resetting it because the audio would be out of sync.
Yep.
Get it together, NBA, silver, rat, fuck. Instead of trotting out all these jerseys, fix your app.
I don't know what you watch on, but the app on the phone, you can't turn closed captioning off. And so it just takes up half the screen.
Mine doesn't have that.
Mine does. I can't turn it off. Yeah, I can't turn it off. It just doesn't go off.
Oh, that's
bad. It's very bad. Thank you, Sean, very much. We appreciate you. Next one from RJ. What's poppin'? Never any doubt. This is from after the Pistons game. Evening, guys. So the C's got out-rebounded, outshot on threes, both total and percentage-wise, and trailed by 19 at the half. That can mean only one thing, an OT victory against the worst team in the league to keep the home court record perfect. What I loved about the game was the third quarter. Celtics just played defense, got back into the game a little bit at a time until they had tied up the game going into the fourth. This was not the beautiful game I imagined, but it was winning a game when, quite frankly, they shouldn't have. But Holiday led the team with rebounds. JT led the team in assists and steals, and the Celtics did what champions do. Might have been ugly, but it was still a win. I hope we play better. All 48 against Toronto. Be well, RJ. Well, psych. You thought they would. But,
you got about 38.
It was kind of an opposite game. Played very well in the first half, shitty in the third quarter, then both were close fourths. But thank you, RJ, as always. Next one from Gerald Colston. What's poppin', boys? Appreciation post. God, people very nice.
Big circle jerk for us today.
Yeah, right. Gerald says, I've been watching guys for about 6 to 8 months and got immediately hooked. First time emailing you guys. I appreciate you guys posting so consistently and actually making sense when you talk. Pistons game was close, Sam. I know deep down you're proud of them and kind of cheering for them. Hope you appreciate you guys, though. Thanks, Gerald.
Right now,
were you in
Pistons
fact
up 4 on the
if we're
Anunoby
still
dust settling Raptors?
If we're still recording when that game is ending, we should watch it live here and just like.
I was thinking about it. Yeah. We can watch it live and then make it at the end. That way, if people want to say that's enough, then they can leave.
Yeah, if it's close. But thank you, Gerald. We appreciate it. Sam, were you rooting for the Pistons even a little bit in that Celtics game?
No, I was not.
just to make it clear.
The good thing about doing this, though, and I really was rooting for them because I wasn't even home, so I couldn't use the Rhode Island betting app, and I don't have any other ones on my phone, so I couldn't even get insurance. Like, I wanted to take insurance before the game. My buddy from work got it at 1,100. So he bet 5 to win 55. I mean, I essentially saved $5, but I would have been a lot more relaxed in that game.
Yeah, sure.
But one thing about doing this is, like, if they lose, my consolation is they get to come on here and just be insufferable.
Yeah, it's great. Next email from RJ. What's poppin'? We face the Toronto Warriors ? Never any doubt, right, guys? I know the Celtics bench takes pride in being as good as the other team's starting five, and for the first 3 quarters, they were. Then in the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, they showed out as bench guys to help give up the lead. But even then, nobody seemed to panic, which is the best thing to take away from tonight. The squad knows they can get it done as long as they focus and lock in. Weird 2 games. No one would have thought we'd see an overtime win and a 2-point win, but we got the wins. I'll wait for Celtics Twitter to lose their minds over us being the worst 25-6 team in NBA history. I'll just be happy with the fact that we're 25-6 and the best in the NBA. Be well, RJ. Not only that, 25-6 in an NBA that's really talented. Like there's a lot.
25-6 with the hardest schedule.
Yeah. So very good. Very good.
Let's lean back.
Next email.
Time of the
Next
show.
email, back-to-back nail biters from Clay Raposa. I don't think we've seen
Clay.
him before. Hello, Clay. Hey, fellas, hope all is well. How about our boy Dikembe White? Oops, I mean Derek. He might not be the most talented player on our team, but he is our best player. I agree. Who is more clutch than D White? Probably. Props to JB. The growth in his game. In his game. Still a work in progress, but incremental games are evident. Like Scal said, I'm not sure he makes that pass to Kornet last year. Lastly, O'Shea is okay with me. Can we get this man some steady minutes? That's what we're saying. He is consistently impactful. Jack, you are correct. I concede that Luke is better than Kata. Thanks. We've been on that for a minute. Thanks, fellas. Keep up the good work. Your homie, Clayton. Appreciate you, Clayton. Thanks for the email.
Thanks, Clayton. Speaking of the last point about Luke and Kata, a lot of people in the comments of the last thing we did just saying, like, who cares? Enjoy both of them. And it might not even been directed at us, but
yes,
it is true. Like, enjoy them. They're both on your team if you support the Celtics. The good news for you is you don't have to pick one. They're both there. So you can support both of them. Good Kornet game. Nice to see him have a nice 20-point night as a starter. It's nice to see he can fill in those spots. I saw Dan Lifshatz put something out of the Sports Hub, and he deleted it. But Evan Valenti, friend of the show, had a screenshot. And it was basically like, why are people celebrating this? Yes, he had a great game, but it's no indication of what he can do in a playoff environment. It was like,
shut up.
Like, can you be happy about anything? And this is coming from me.
Yeah. Let's tell him.
I don't get hating on like the little guys. Like Luke Kornet, he has a 20-point game. It's found money. There is a point to like, sure, it might not be an indication of what's going to happen in a playoff game, but like enjoy that it happened. Like not every 9th guy or 10th guy on a team can start and have an efficient night like that and essentially dunk the game winner home. Clutch dunk from Luke Kornet in that game yesterday. But like seriously, just be happy with who you have. I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree. And for what it's worth, like just because Luke Kornet is better right now, like I also think they should continue to play Kata because his ceiling is higher.
There's
and
value in
him
that.
is important. Exactly. So thank you, Clayton. Thanks for the email. Keep emailing us. We appreciate y'all. Last one from Gerald again. Raptors made a deal. Finally, we'll talk about this later in the show as well. But this is about the OG Anunoby trade, which I guess we can lead with that. So this will be the segue. What's up, boys? Hopefully you guys are doing well. This past Friday against the Raptors, I said they needed to blow it up. Then Saturday at 12:40, the next day, they did. I love the pieces they got back, and I believe they still need a little more scoring off the bench. RJ and Quickly are younger pieces who could grow alongside Barnes. If they want to be really competitive, they should swing for a Kelly Olynyk and or S. Bay from Atlanta. I was like, what? His autocorrect killed me. Sadiq Bey from Atlanta. Yeah, it got me.
S beyond.
Yeah, or they could go the whole rebuild course and trade Pascal Siakam to Detroit or Atlanta, something like that. Yeah, this can be a perfect segue. We can get into the NBA.
Change that background.
Well, I'm adjusting the cheat, so.
All right, I'll change the background.
Let's talk about OG Anunoby, the trade to the Knicks, and I guess in part how it affects the Celtics. To get ahead on that part, since this is the Celtics podcast and OG Anunoby is probably in the title of the show, how it affects the Celtics. Probably doesn't. This probably doesn't affect the Celtics all too much, other than the Knicks might be a slightly harder team to play in the playoffs now because they have somebody who can guard the Jays a little bit well. Yeah, they can probably defend the Jays a bit better. That said, in my opinion, this trade's a huge win for the Raptors. I am super high at Emmanuel Quickly. I think he's awesome. I think he's going to thrive in Toronto. But I swear to God, if they don't start this man, just give him all the minutes. Like, he's so good. I think RJ Barrett's underrated at this point. I don't think he's as good as Anunoby. So, like, I'm not, like, mad that they gave him up. But giving up him Quickly and what's effectively going to be a late first-round pick, because it's Detroit's second-rounder, is a lot for OG Anunoby. So
Yeah,
a bit weird.
this was a good example of the Masai Ujiri ransom. He got a haul for Anunoby, somebody who a lot of teams have been clamoring for. The Pacers have been reportedly interested. The Kings were reportedly interested. I believe at one point the Warriors were linked to him too. Those are all quality teams with decent things to give you. And then Knicks kind of snuck in there. I don't know how much we had on the Knicks being in on this. I know when the report came out today, the report was they were on it for a long time. There's Leon Rose, the GM, and his son is Anunoby's agent and all that stuff coming out. So a little eyeball emoji there. But from a Celtics perspective, solely looking at the Knicks, because the Knicks are the relevant team now, right? The Raptors, I think it's a good move for them, and we'll get into it. But the Knicks are the team that's the most competitive of the two. To me, it feels like a lateral move. I feel like they didn't get worlds better from this. I think Anunoby's a good player. I think he's a quality player. He can defend really well, and he can knock down threes. He is the ideal player for a competitive team. So good job for the Knicks by getting him to join their fun team. But at the same time, you gave up 2 key rotation pieces from your current squad, or your ex squad, whatever you want. Not now. They're gone now, not current anymore. But quickly gave them real minutes off the bench. He's helped them win games in the past. He killed the Celtics last spring, or early spring, late winter, whatever it was. He had like 50 points or something crazy. 40-something points. It was an overtime game. They lost. And then you give up RJ Barrett, who a lot of Knicks fans apparently were split on. But he was one of the guys that they had hopes that the team would build around going forward. He was young. He was somebody that they could maybe usher in a new generation of talent around once it came to that. But they're all in on this current group of Brunson, Randall, and the fellas, which is fine. I think Brunson's a fine player, but besides that, there's nobody that's like really knock your socks off good. Certainly not Randall. He puts up numbers every once in a while. He's had a nice stretch lately. But do you trust him in a playoff series? No. Last season, he was ass in the playoffs. You can't rely on him. Bring in Anunoby makes you a better defensive team, but you lose 2 offensive scoring options. When you have Randall as one of your main guys, you could use that. You could use the extra punch. You're muted.
Sorry, thank you. I think Anunoby has wanted a larger offensive role for a while, and now he'll get a chance to have that. So
Fair.
I'm curious to see how that goes for
He's
him
been
in
solid.
New York. I will also say, in a weird way, I think this does make the Knicks better, but I also think they
But
lost
how
the
much
trade.
better?
So that's the thing. Probably
You
not
know what
much.
I mean?
But I think now you can play Dante DiVincenzo and Quentin Grimes more minutes at those spots, who are both very good players. And so they
Sure.
can step up, play more minutes there.
Even Josh Hart.
Yep, Josh Hart can get more minutes. I think Miles McBride could probably see a little bit more action in some of these games. He's a very good defensive-minded guard, too. So they're going to be a very defense-first team. Again, curious to see how OG Anunoby takes on a larger offensive role if they give it to him, which I can't imagine they wouldn't at this point. And also you add in the context of OG Anunoby needs an extension at the end of the year, or he needs a new contract. Emmanuel quickly also needs a new contract at the end of the year. And a point I saw on Twitter was, and this wasn't necessarily arguing that the Knicks won the trade, but just like adding some context, that Emmanuel quickly is going to want like 25 plus, and OG Anunoby is probably also going to want 25 plus. Who would you rather pay 25 plus to if you're the Knicks? Right?
Yeah. I mean,
when you have
Brunson.
exactly, if you have Brunson already, you have, DiVincenzo, you have Grimes, you have all these guards, you'd probably rather spend that money elsewhere. Jake Fisher, friend of the pod, reported this as well. Knicks didn't land Anunoby without an understanding of his own financial considerations. Anunoby held meetings with several agencies this past offseason when he decided to leave Clutch Sports, telling potential representation that he was interested in a larger offensive role that would be commensurate, I think that's the word, with a salary figure in the ballpark of $40 million in average annual value. However, Anunoby did leave those potential agents with the impression that he would be willing to accept a smaller figure if he were to have landed in New York. So it sounds like he also wanted to be here and would be willing to take a discount to play here. I think this is going to be an extremely good defensive basketball team. And I think the offensive ceiling depends on how good Anunoby is with a larger offensive role. It's weird. I think the Raptors won because I like the talent they got better than the overall talent the Knicks got, but I do understand why the Knicks would want to do something like this. So
I saw it on Twitter
it's weird.
today. This also might be a situation where like both teams win, which is okay for everyone to talk about.
It happens.
I think for what the Raptors are trying to do, this is great.
Great.
You
trade
now
for
have
Raptors.
younger players you can put around Scotty Barnes and put your team together for the next couple of years. It seems like that's their plan. Let's just look at Anunoby's last game as a Raptor. 12 points on 5 of 8, 2 of 4 from 3. So, yeah, he really didn't get a whole lot of opportunities, especially last night against the Celtics in 37 minutes.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to get younger, Scotty Barnes is a decent piece. He just won Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. A little bit of a sophomore slump. But now you have RJ Barrett, who's Canadian, by the way.
Yep.
And I'm sure they all love that.
Very
Quickly,
fun.
who has proven that he can be a scoring guard in this league. I don't know how great he's going to hold up on the defensive end. But in terms of an offensive output team, the Raptors have potential to be fun. They are headed in the right direction now, and they did it without having to have a tank season, a season where they're the Pistons, essentially, and just losing and losing and losing and losing. Like last year, the Pistons lost, hope to get Wemby, picked 5th. It doesn't always work. They're making their own look. Good for you, Jerry. He doesn't back down. We talked about him this summer when it came out like he was like reportedly hard to deal with or whatever. That's what you want. If that guy's running your team, you want that. You want him to be a dog in trades. Get what you want. And they also got picks. They got a second rounder. They get anything else or just a second?
It was just the second. But the second is Detroit's
Pistons.
second this year. So
it'll
it's
be
like
the
31st. Yeah. Effectively. So
good for both sides.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll see how it works. Hopefully it doesn't affect the Celtics. Hope they roll them regardless.
And they should. But I do
They
think
should roll
both
everybody.
teams I think both teams are in a more fun spot now, weirdly enough. Even the Knicks. Like I think OG's defense and OG's like the new presence could help bring a little spark too. I don't know. I don't hate it.
Knicks fan, none too pleased.
Well,
Big
they all
RJ
love quick. Oh, interesting. I was gonna say they all love quickly, but all right.
I think he liked quickly too. He was pissed.
Yeah, that's tough one. Henry woke me up because I was still asleep. Because
Of course he did.
He goes, Jack, big trade. I go, who? And he makes me guess. I'm like, oh, Siakam. He goes, less. I'm like, OG. And he goes, yeah. And landed on the Knicks. I go, what'd they give up? And I said, I don't know, like picks, probably like Fournier's contract, something like that, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, nope. I'm like, don't tell me they give up quickly. And he goes, yep. I'm like, shit. What else? Well, that's when I said, fine, was it quickly 48's contract and picks? And he goes, no. And I go, what? Like, I was lost. I was like, how do they match the salary then? I have no idea. Tell me. He goes, RJ. I go, what the fuck do you mean? RJ Barrett is what? So it is definitely two very talented players for one. I think the question is going to be, does that one fit better and work better long term? Which we'll see. I think we'll end up seeing what happens. But all right, next thing we got is, did the Pistons win a game, Sam? Tell me.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
They are up as we ask the question at 7:49 p.m. They are up 83-81 with 2:13 to play in the third quarter.
I got it ahead on mine. They're up 87-85 with 45 seconds left in the third quarter. So they're up 2 against the Raptors. If you're curious who is playing well, Siakam has 28 through 3 quarters. Alec Burks has 16 off the bench, hasn't missed from 3 yet, 3 of 3. Cade Cunningham already has a double-double with 16 and 11 assists. Kevin Knox has 17 points, so a weird game.
Kevin Knox had 17 points against Celtics. I'd be mad as hell.
He started last night or 2 nights ago against the Celtics. Okay, yeah, the Pistons have not won though. They have officially tied the record for the most losses in a row. They've lost the most in a row in a single season already. They are the worst. They're probably the worst team in basketball ever right now. Like they are on the way to becoming the worst team in basketball history. This is so funny. It's so funny. It's so good, man. I love it.
It's so good
much.
for the game. This is awesome. Worldwide Wobb's League Pass menu for December 30th, 2023. Raptors at Pistons, fun rating 97. It's facts.
Oh my
it's
God.
so facts. Every time the Pistons are on now, we're like, dude, Pistons Day. Gotta pay attention, see if they win.
Pistons Day, baby. Gotta
We
love
need
the
expansion
Pistons.
so bad, just so there can be more bad teams.
It's very funny. The best part is there are a decent amount of really bad teams this year. It's that no one's as bad as the Pistons and no one cares, right? Like the Wizards are 6-25. The Hornets are 7-23, and the Spurs are 5-26, but the Pistons are 2-29. So no one is paying attention.
It would be more fun if the Wizards were the 2-29 team.
Yeah, because you picked the Pistons.
I like the Pistons, and I also think it would be hilarious that Jordan Poole would be steering the ship for the worst team in NBA history.
The Celtics have won more games than the 4 franchises of the Wizards, Hornets, Pistons, and Spurs this season.
You probably keep throwing teams in.
Nah, that was it. I checked. That was the most you could throw in. Because
Really?
then the next one is 9-win Blazers, and that takes you to like 29.
Okay. Stand by on that one then.
But very funny. Very, very funny. Okay. Next thing we got is our Podly NBA standings check-in. Let's take a look around the league, see where everybody's at. As we surpass the quarter point in the season, we're approaching the halfway point, which is terrifying because I don't want basketball to be over.
Well, this is good for ratings, if we want to call it that, because now people are starting to trickle in and care. We've seen it over the last couple of weeks. More and more people paying attention, which is good for us. And before we know it, the playoffs will be here, which formerly known as the most wonderful time of the year last year has shined a poor light on that.
Sure.
Not after further review, not the most wonderful time of the year at all. Awful.
Christmas.
Not Christmas either. Most wonderful time of the year, Halloweenish time. Basketball back, birthday, and of course the holiday. If you're into it,
I still like the playoffs. Celtics, owners of the longest win streak in basketball at 25. It is still insane to see a number larger than 20 in this streak column. At 20. Bucks and Sixers and Heat won 2, 2, and 4 in a row respectively. The Heat have overtaken the Magic. 4 home court advantage, 4 seed. That'd be a pretty fun series. Yeah,
my standing says Magic 19-12. Heat 19-13 per NBA.com. Heat lost to the Jazz today. So maybe
mine
Google's
must not have updated then. Yes, you're right. It's not updated. Heat did just lose to the Jazz, so they will fall half a game below the Magic. Behind them are the Cavs and the Knicks, then the Pacers. Hornets have now lost 10 straight, so they are just as funny to watch right now.
Adam Silver put in the call. He was like, hey, listen, this Pistons team is going to win eventually. We need something to fall back on.
Yep.
How fire would it be if the all-time streak for games lost consecutively was set twice in the same season by different teams?
You're thinking too small. What if it was both by the Pistons? What if they did it again?
If they won and then they lost another 29 straight or whatever?
Yes, that would be the best.
You're right.
Next, out west, Thunder have won 3 in a row. They're coming for the Timberwolves to top the West. Thunder, big breakout year. I know we all predicted it, but I don't think anybody predicted this much.
I didn't think it would be this much.
Yeah. Grizzlies have now lost 2 in a row. The Rockets have lost 3. The Suns are back on the winning wagon 2 in a row, but they are 4-6 in their last 10. So are the Mavs. Not great. No super good. Actually, there's 3 8-2 teams in their last 10. Thunder, Nuggets, Clippers. Clippers have climbed all the way up to the 4 seed in the Western Conference.
2 losses were without Kawhi.
Yep. And then the Spurs, tragic, 2-8 in their last 10. Warriors still bottom feeding, still below 500. They've lost their last 2. Looking like a good year for the Grizzlies to have that Warriors pick that could have been the Celtics.
I'm telling you right now, I want the Warriors to keep losing. Because I think if the Warriors keep losing, there's going to be pressure on things to change. Means we could see Wiggins gone, which is on the sheet. Yep. We could see Clay gone. Which is interesting. I'm just curious. I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens if they get put under a little bit of pressure here. I don't think they're trying to do what they did in 2020 again, which is be asked and then pick and then miss on the pick.
I agree.
Which they won't even have.
They won't even have. Speaking of Wiggins, Wiggins could be the next guy in the trade block. The Grizzlies do have their picks by way of the Celtics from the KP trade. No, from the Portland has it from by way of the Drew trade. Sorry, I'm getting all mixed up now.
Celtics got it.
From the Grizzlies, yes. Trade. But Andrew Wiggins could be the next guy on the trade block. Tim Kawakami of The Athletic, though I've said in the past the Warriors might be reluctant to trade Wiggins so soon after he signed a relatively bargain rate contract extension, specifically so he could remain with the team. I've since heard that this would not be a major barrier for the Warriors to explore the Wiggins trade market now. Sam, you think it would be fun to see that happen?
Well,
I don't think so, because if he comes to the East, I don't think it would be fun anymore. And I saw a lot of Bucks fans saying, we got the salary, make it happen. Wouldn't want that to happen. You could pull together Bobby Portis, Pat Connaught, and some other smaller things and get up there pretty quickly.
Bucks, do you really want to give up Bobby Portis? Like he's a big like contributor for them. You know what I'm saying?
I know he is,
like,
but if you have a chance to get Wiggins, a guy like objectively, they don't have anybody to guard Tatum and Brown right now. And so do you prioritize that bench piece, which as great as Bobby Portis is, like that's probably more important in the regular season, or are you willing to sacrifice it, get a guy who you know will be useful in the playoffs? I'm not saying yes, definitely do it. And again, also wouldn't be, great for their depth, but you could get there with Bobby Portis, Pat Connaught, and Marjon Beauchamp. And I believe that salary would work for them to make the trade for Wiggins. So I'm just saying it's a possibility. Same thing with the Sixers. Sixers, another team that could do it very easily.
Yeah, Tobias Harris.
Or even Marcus Morris. They don't have to give up Tobias Harris.
Forget about that Marcus Morris salary.
Yeah, and
no.
all the salary. Do you take that it would be fun?
But I also think like the Kings could be a team, like because they were in Anunoby, so like that salary works. Pacers could be a team.
Raptors, get all the Canadians, get them up there.
Just trot them all up there. That's new rule. New rule. All Canadian guys just play on the Raptors. Shea, Jamal Murray, RJ, Dylan Brooks, Wiggins, and then Zach Edey.
Kelly Olynyk. Get him up. Get him up there. Celtics don't have any Canadians, right? Delano Banton. They can.
Delano Banton, Kelly Olynyk.
But yeah, I mean, Andrew Wiggins would be a very tradable piece. O'Shea, true, he'd be gone too. Maybe not. A very tradable contract. A guy a lot of teams around the league would definitely want. You bet your ass the Bucks, Sixers, Heat would all be in on that. You bet the Cavs would absolutely be in on that.
Culture guy.
You think so?
Definitely.
Or are you being sarcastic?
No. I think if he went there, he would be like a big Heat culture story.
Yeah, he'd be
because like all the rumblings is he's out of shape, and after he went to spend time with his dad or whatever happened last year, like he hasn't been the same, hasn't been as sharp, like all that. He would go down to Miami and he'd be putting whatever chambers they use to revitalize their guys or get them to be superhuman, and he'd be back. So
even the Knicks could make a play if Wiggins comes available, right? Like you throw Fournier's contract in there, you could have a nasty defensive lineup.
If I'm the Warriors, I would be interested in Knicks package because you could get some draft picks from them. And at this point, you got to start thinking about that. I don't know what you do. Like, do you do what the Celtics did if you're the Warriors? Do you trade away Curry and Clay and try and get like a future foundation built from those guys? I don't think
you can trade.
I think Curry's legacy is too strong, and so is Clay's to do that. But it has to be something that trickles through Mike Dunleavy's mind. He could be like, damn, I could be Danny Ainge. I could get the next Tatum and Brown just for trading Curry away.
Do you think the trade package for Curry would be the biggest we've ever seen?
It's hard to say because I feel like we see the biggest we've ever seen in a lot of different ways. Like you can see big trades happen nowadays where it's like Gobert and they have 5 first-round picks go out for him. But at the same time, there have been trades throughout history that have panned out to be big. Like the Brooklyn trade, right? That it worked out massively for the Celtics, and they got those unprotected picks. But at the time, like the Nets gave less than Minnesota did. They gave less picks.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Where do you think? Where would Curry get traded?
It would be some desperate team like Charlotte. I could see a Charlotte doing it, or something. Let's see. Let's think about teams that are like almost there teams, but they definitely don't have hope. Like, I
don't know. I wonder if Minnesota would be in.
If I'm Minnesota, I'm not touching what I have going on right this year.
True.
Like,
true. I don't know, man.
Really
That's
bad display for me. Like,
it's such a weird question.
I'm flipping through my head. Like, I could see Dallas do it.
I wonder if Philly would do it. They don't have the picks to make it happen. If I'm Philly, you pair Steph with Embiid. That's easily the best player he's ever played with in his life.
You could see. Chicago try and do it. I don't think they have
Chicago would
anything,
probably
but they
try.
could try. They could
New
try
York.
their best.
New York would probably try. You don't care. It does
Brooklyn.
not. It's not a great fit.
Brooklyn
would
doesn't
probably
learn their
try.
lesson. They're like, we are back. Phoenix, they don't have anything left, but they could try.
Would you trade? I'd say, see, Bradley, it's been a great run, Mr. Beal. Get the fuck
thanks
out
for
of
3 games.
Imagine, that'd be the funniest shit. Anyways, we don't have to actually talk about that. Wiggins is on the trade block is the point. Let's get into the rat list here. Would you like to kick us off?
I would.
Yes.
Rat list. The SEPTA. So if you've never been to Philadelphia, you have been to Philadelphia.
What's this?
But they have. I'm gonna fucking explain it, dickhead.
Okay. Fuck you.
I'll tell you what the SEPTA is. SEPTA is Philadelphia's subway.
Mm.
They have. It's actually their public transit. Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority, I think. Anyways, train. My man was just smoking on the train, dude. Just ripping a cig right next to us. I was like, what is going on here? Also, SEPTA, the people I was with disagreed with me. Makes me think of Septic Tank. Like, bad name.
That's what I thought originally as well.
Bad name.
That's what I assumed.
And they only have 2 trains. They have one that goes up the city and one that goes across. They don't have like branched out. They have trolleys, but they don't have subways that go across. Like
Vegas.
I think it makes an X.
Yeah. That sounds like Vegas, like the useless one train that only goes one half of the strip. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not the exact same, but the same like stupidity of it.
Mind you, I spent like 4 hours in Philadelphia, so I know the whole city. But train not good. Train of all the metro systems I've ever seen, lowest on the power rankings.
Worse than Vegas.
That doesn't count.
Okay, that's
Monorail is not metro.
Sure. Okay. I'm always astounded. I had a conversation with my friend like last year, and he was like, you'd be shocked at how few cities actually have metros. Like we live in Boston, you live in Rhode Island, and so it's like a thing. You know, like, oh yeah, the commuter rail. Everyone has like
I wish we did.
I know, but like the commuter rail comes down there and stuff. So like
it does.
It is crazy that like as much as I shit on the T, which I'm gonna do in a second, like 90% of cities in the US just don't have anything like that. It's like drive or walk or figure it out. Like it's crazy. It is a very like cool thing to have that I enjoy. But Ratless the T, being dog shit, back to back. One, it just took forever yesterday for whatever reason. Like it was moving slow. It took a while to get there. It took like 15. I had to wait 10 minutes. Blah blah blah. The other day when I went, I walked up, saw my train leaving, then had to wait 18 minutes for my next train. What the fuck? However, Sam, the worst part, the real T Ratless today. Announcement comes on. The Green Line will be shutting down from the 2nd of January to the 14th, and then from the 16th to the 28th for rail work.
Well, at least you can use it on the 15th.
So it was something like there's like a 2-day break. It's like something useless. Listen, I don't need to use the Green Line to get to the Garden, so I'm lucky. It's very nice. I can use the red line, then I can take the orange line instead of the green, and then I can take the orange line back, and it's fine. I can't. The Green Line is usually how I get to my buddy's house, so I'll have to find a different way there. But how are you going to shut down an entire line of your train for 2 chunks of like a week and a half at a time? People use that to get to their job every day, and you're just saying, sorry.
Also, not for nothing, like this was the time to do it. Like the holidays when people aren't working.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be like, people are using it to go to work, like not a lot of people work in like the last 2 weeks.
But the first 2 weeks, the people are fucked. What are we doing?
Well, like, yes, but also they can be like, can't come to work, Green Line. Perfect excuse. Sorry, I was late, Green Line.
Yeah, but also North Station on the Green Line. North Station's going to be on the Green Line, though. So people getting into games, Celtics games are going to be
bad for the Celtics, yeah.
Much harder to get to.
Celtics aren't going to be home that much, though, right?
I mean, I'm not sure, but just
might be good for you then.
Ratless in general. The Celtics are, they are away a decent amount in January, actually. So I guess it doesn't matter, but still, just fuck you. It's some shit.
Let's see. Ratless, my girlfriend. So we were driving back home today.
Sure,
we took turns driving. It was a 5-hour ride, which is another story.
Not great, not fun.
She was driving, I think the Anunoby trade happened like 10 minutes ago. So I'm kind of like going through, seeing what people have to say, like as one does when news breaks like this. And she's driving, and then I just hear this. I thought I was reading my last words ever. I thought we were about to get in a head-on crash. And I'm like, what? What? I thought we were about to die. She's like, oh, no, I thought I forgot, like, gifts for my friends. But I have them. I was like, oh, good. Glad you got them. I thought I'd just eaten my last meal. Like, top 5 places not to gasp. Behind the wheel.
Yeah, it's
the cockpit of a plane.
That's a bad one. That's real bad. Let's see. What else do I got? I was gonna ratless Duke. But it wasn't that bad. He likes to be all up in your shit when you're trying to eat something. So he'll like, I had like food on the couch the other night, and I set up like barriers. Like I put up a bunch of blankets on either side of me, creating like a fucking moat, or like the inverse or whatever, like a big wall around me. And Duke just started like slowly climbing over it. Like I wouldn't see him, his fat fucking ass climbing over the wall. His 100-pound dumbass trying to sneak over it. No, but I don't know. I don't have much rat list for you. I think I burned a lot of it out on the last one. Anti-rat list, the new shoes I got for Christmas. You give your next rat list, and I'll grab my new Tatums to show which ones they are. How about that?
Okay. All right.
Anti-rat list.
So rat list is any road trip. Now, this comes from me. I am very fortunate. My mom is a flight attendant. So oftentimes when we have to travel, and throughout my life, it has been courtesy of her family passes. So I'm very used to flying, being places quick, and not having to worry about being on the highways, getting between states, dealing with tolls. First and foremost, we will rat list Apple Maps. Apple Maps decided to give a detour today. And the detour was to get off an exit, go through a toll, drive, take a U-turn on the off-highway road, turn back around, and go back through the toll. So essentially, Apple Maps was like, here, pay an extra $2. In cahoots with
Trying to get your money.
state of New Jersey. Also, rat list. Anyone who decides to get in an accident on a 2-lane highway. Ass. And rat list, double rat list on the accident thing, because we were driving and Apple Maps Siri, that dumb fuck, goes, hey, would you like me to reroute you? There is an accident 38 miles away. Yeah. Buddy, by the time I get there, the accident's gone. It's gone. So anyways, we end up on this off, like we didn't take 95 for a lot of the drive back. We took like different highways that went around 95.
Yeah.
And one of them was 2 lanes and there was mad traffic. There was this guy in a Chevy Tahoe driving like 55 in the left lane. I could not get around him for the life of me.
Yep.
I was about to have a brain aneurysm behind the wheel. I thought it was bad when my girlfriend like had the panic attack over the Christmas gift. I saw this guy in the Tahoe and I was like, my God, I'm going to have a stroke. It's awful.
Does Kaylin drive acceptable speed?
Yeah, she's fine. And when I'm in the passenger seat, what do I care? But when it's me driving, baby, you better get out of the way.
Yep.
Ass.
Yep.
Overall ass. Speaking of ass, Pistons up how much? 11?
11. Yeah. Pistons up 11. 5 minutes left.
Here it comes.
Anti-ratless shoes I got for Christmas. My mom got me a couple pairs. These are not the Tatums, but I wore these to the game yesterday. Some Adidas. Very clean. Very nice like shoes. Those. Big fan. Very comfy. Very nice.
Are those the Nizza shoes? Nizza?
I have no idea. Where would it say that?
I don't know. On the box.
I couldn't tell you. I don't have the box. They're made in Vietnam.
Nice.
That's the information I got. And these are the Tatums I got. Sorry, they weren't all white, but they are.
Those ones I have.
Oh, well, yeah, they're very nice.
I have those
I like
too.
the colors.
I like them too. Good
Colors
shoes.
very dope. But yeah, anti-rat list. My mom, who I walked out of here to grab them, and she goes, "Take your headphones off." I go, "What?" She goes, "Are you doing the rat list?" I said, "Yes." Am I on the rat list? No, it's anti-rat list. She goes, "Okay, good."
Am I
So-
on the rat list?
She was very concerned, but that's all I got. You got any more rat list?
You know I don't.
All right.
I don't.
All right. Well, we can wrap there then.
You want to
Thank
do
y'all
the
for tuning in.
Pistons?
I mean, we can edit it in. Do you want to edit in our reaction to the end of the Pistons game here?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's tough because we've been like laughing at the Pistons for 2 weeks now. If they break the streak, we don't talk about it. It's tough.
Yeah, we can. We'll edit in our reaction to the end of the Pistons game right here.
Okay.
But editing Jack here. It's 3:16 in the morning. The first upload of the podcast didn't go up correctly because we tried to react to the Pistons game. Fuck you, Sam, for wanting to watch the Pistons. I now despise the Pistons because I was trying to sleep, but the video got blocked. So from now on, I hate the Pistons, and I blame you, Sam, and I hope you hear this. Goodbye. No Pistons reaction. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it very much. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. How about them Celtics? Appreciate y'all for a monster year for us. Let me see. How many subscribers did we gain this year in total? We'll give y'all the year recap real quick.
Bet we gained 1750.
Let's take a look. We are at 1,996 right now. So hopefully we get 4 more from this video. When we hit 2K by the end of the year, that'd be
Last
electric.
video of the year, baby.
It's coming down to it. We had a nice little surge, but this calendar year in 2023, we gained 1,756. What did you say?
Oh, I said 1750.
You were very close. Holy shit.
Bang!
And we had 547,587 views. So thank y'all very much for a phenomenal year, more than we could have asked for. Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Subscribe, leave us a review on Apple, all that good stuff, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yes, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. You can find all of our full-length pods here on the YouTube channel. You can also find game recaps, film breakdowns, trade breakdowns, 30-minute pregame streams, and Talkin' C's. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of them, because we're putting stuff up every day at 5 a.m., just like Jack told you earlier in the pod. You can also leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you thought of the OG Anunoby trade, what you thought of this potential Pistons win, and also what you think of Wemby, because you're seeing him later today. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple and Audible, according to our man there in the email. So leave a 5-star rating on all of them. Follow us. You can get the audio versions of any full-length pod and game recap right to your inbox. You can find us via email, hbtcpod@gmail.com. You can also be entered in the Inpopnito giveaway, whether you want to email us or comment. Say what's popping, and you will get your name up on the wheel to win $10 to the online store. You can reach out to us via socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can find our pregames there, YouTube and Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at JacksMoneyNBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Tic-tac-toe. Come on.